Disney has released the third episode of Agatha All Along, which follows Agatha's coven as they face the first trial on the Witch's Road. And I thought the episode was okay. Sure, I enjoyed getting to see some bonding between the characters in this series, but I do wish that we could have gotten to learn a little bit more about them as individuals. Because this episode spends a lot of time getting the characters to literally face the fears of their past, but since I don't know anything about these characters, their visions or hallucinations didn't really mean anything to me. And I think these sequences would have been more impactful if the show had taken the time to delve a bit deeper into everyone's background beforehand. But I was surprised to learn that Agatha traded her own child for the Darkhold, because that is an interesting piece of character development. One that actually reinforces the idea that Agatha is a terrible person, and that she definitely shouldn't be viewed as a good guy who is worth fanboying over. But I'm sure the showrunners will end up justifying her actions by the end of the series, because this is made by Disney after all, and they do have a history of turning their villains into misunderstood good guys for no reason. Regardless, I hope Jolak's character doesn't turn out to be her long-lost son, because that would be too narratively unsatisfying, right? I mean, I take issue with the idea that the son of Wanda Maximoff would grow up to idolize one of her own enemies, but Agatha's orphaned son growing up to idolize her? That's gotta be worse, right? I don't know, but I guess we'll find out what his actual identity is soon enough. Speaking of which, we did get an explanation as to why Jolak's character can't reveal any information about himself. Apparently, somebody casted a redaction spell on him in order to keep his identity a secret from witchfolk. But we learned that information when he spoke his name in front of Deborah Jo Rupp's character, and she's definitely not a witch, so she definitely would have heard his name, right? I mean, she's standing right there, and knowing her character, she probably would have just revealed his identity as an accident, saying something like, "What do you mean you can't hear that his name is Billy? He said it just as plain as day," because why wouldn't she? Nobody casted a spell on her, and she's clearly very confused by everything that's going on. So it makes sense to think that her character would be asking a lot of questions. But I guess it doesn't matter now, because the episode ends with Deborah Jo Rupp's character dying. And I'm not actually sure if she's technically officially dead, since no one has ever really gone within the MCU, but I think her character was destined to leave the group one way or another, because Aubrey Plaza is clearly playing the fifth member of the team that this coven has been waiting for. But if the character is actually dead, then I'm genuinely going to miss her, because I like Deborah Jo Rupp and I enjoyed her presence within the MCU. Still, it'll be interesting to see how the dynamic of this group will change in the next episode, so I am actually looking forward to seeing it. Hopefully it'll turn out to be good, but I guess we'll see how episode 4 of Agatha All Along will actually turn out to be once it gets released on Wednesday.